Where is my book? Oh no, my bookmark came out. I have to figure out where I was because my bookmark came out. Why are you having trouble focusing on wealth and abundance? Or conversely, why are you focusing on lack and limits? Of course, the answers to these questions may seem elusive or tor- torturously out of your reach. But for now, just observing the contradictions is what's important. Put yourself in a place of responsibility. Accepting responsibility is what will give you back your power. And we'll talk in chapter 4. Life is waiting for you about how to counter such behaviors without having to go too far from your comfort zones. Have you ever wanted something but then caught yourself telling your friends something contradictory? Maybe you really long for a deep and meaningful relationship, but then you hear yourself say something to the effect that relationships never last, or that they're unnatural, or maybe you're trying to lose weight and you're determined to do it, but you hear yourself tell a friend that it makes no difference what you eat, you still can't lose weight. These are more examples of you expressing your so-called invisible beliefs. As I said before, beliefs are no more than opinions about reality. So whenever you catch yourself expressing an opinion in thought, word, or deed, realize you've just nailed a belief that's busy building your life around. Realize that you've just nailed a belief that's busy building your life around you. Bulldoze and liquefy. As silly as the name is, the bulldoze and liquefy approach works for me. Very simply, I'll allow myself to become so empowered by my desires and goals that I can automatically and effortlessly bulldoze and liquefy any limiting beliefs that might be in my way. How? By reasoning and rationalizing all the reasons why I should have and deserve whatever it is that I want, and then acting the part. Sometimes I'll even put pen to paper and jot down bullet points of all the reasons why my goal is achievable and inevitable. So rather than first observing and dismantling, I physically charge ahead toward whatever it is I want, loaded to the teeth with an understanding about what I am doing, my place in life, and my heritage as an ultimate, unlimited, eternal creator. These ideals, if held with conviction and reinforced with action, will see me through any attacks they might encounter from limiting beliefs, invisible or otherwise. And along these lines, I often also think and dwell on the magic of life, the miracles of life, and the grace of my being. By dwelling on all this perfection, it becomes harder and harder to see myself as limited in any way. In either approach, what makes this work is that I am ultimately disposing of the old beliefs with a higher understanding about myself, my life, and my reality. And one way to arrive at this understanding is by following your thinking and and uncovering the rationale for the limiting beliefs you used to live by. If you think money is hard to acquire, ask yourself why, why, and compare your answers to the truth of being to see how they shrivel up. A higher understanding always has to be there to dissolve old beliefs, and in the light of understanding, limiting beliefs have to disappear, just as the dark disappears when the sun rises. It's not even necessary in the end to know what your limiting beliefs are as long as you begin to understand and live by the greater truths that surround and support you, particularly in the areas of your life you'd like to see change. Attaining this understanding doesn't have to be a long or drawn out process. The truths of being I've enumerated are so simple. Grasp them, live them. With illumination comes instant peace and lightning fast change. No dues to pay. There's no question that limiting beliefs can hold you back, but the reverse is true of empowering beliefs. They can send you through the stratosphere with love, joy, health, and abundance. In either case, your beliefs are like the encased steel girders that support the skyscrapers of your thoughts, invisible but so powerful. Even in the Bible, the King James Version, Mark 9:23 says that all things are possible with belief, and it adds no caveats, no caveats. It doesn't say that all things are possible with belief if God says so, or if you're a good person, or if you haven't sinned, or if you pray, or if you deserve. It says that all things are possible when you believe, and this is true because your beliefs draw to themselves all the necessary thoughts to bring your expectations into the physical world. Virtually everything we've ever been told about what it takes to succeed in the world comes a distant second place to beliefs. Just look at the success stories of our time in any field or profession and ask yourself these questions. Is there a consistency in their past, a religion, formula, ritual, or rite that ensured their success? Were all goody two shoes were they all goody two shoes from the right neighborhoods and with morally upstanding parents? Did they all go to college? Were they all self-disciplined? And did they all practice, rehearse, and train every day? Did they all have mentors, connections, or lucky breaks? Did they all work lots of overtime? No, 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 and no. Their achievements weren't the result of any such dilly-dallying. They prevailed because they believed they would prevail. That's why you know who they are, and that's the only reason if they think otherwise. The connections, circumstances, luck, and coincidences of their life were drawn to and built around this belief as they moved with it throughout their affairs. Whenever you catch yourself expressing an opinion in thought, word, or deed, realize that you've just nailed a belief that's busy at work building your life around you. You can't help but make decisions and choose actions based on your beliefs, whatever they are, and whether you like it or not, which is why your beliefs are so important. Look at the accomplished artist, inventor, or tycoon and think not, there goes so and so, who's talented, innovative, and powerful. Think instead, there goes someone just like me who believes in his or her talent, inventiveness, and power. You're not lucky or jinxed, protected or abandoned, popular or despised, healthy or sick, wealthy or poor. but you may believe you are, and so it will be. We are nothing in time and space but thought machines. That's it. We think our thoughts, we think and our thoughts become things. Of course, taking action is absolutely required. But as you'll soon read, our actions usually spring from our beliefs. And in those instances, when we don't first possess the beliefs that will throw us into action, we can begin by deliberately taking action, baby steps in the direction of our dreams, to begin installing the beliefs we wish to possess. Living the life of your dreams comes from aligning whatever you want with your beliefs, not virtues, practice, money, patience, connections, tolerance, prayer, meditation, karma, and goodness, but beliefs and only beliefs. Particularly, the belief in particularly the belief in inevitable success. Most people won't let themselves believe in inevitable success until they feel they've lived right, they've received the proper education, they're devoted to their God, or they're, they're good parents. The truth is that they could have done all those same things, and more, much earlier and more often, if only they granted themselves the permission to think thoughts of success without the diplomas, age, experience, wisdom, or other dues paid to a cofer requiring only a belief in success. What's going on when people think they have such bogus dues to pay? They've got rules, some of which are rather obvious, but they all share an even deeper limiting belief, one that again stems from the concept of original sin, thinking that we must first figure out the physical detail of exactly how our dreams will come true. We have inner conversations that sound like, I'll start living in abundance once my novel becomes a bestseller. But why limit the infinite avenues of abundance to the long corridor of selling a novel? And by the same token, why saddle the dream of writing a book with the burden of creating wealth? I like that. Why saddle the dream of writing a book with the burden of creating wealth? I'll be happy once I lose this weight. Sorry, but what does happiness have to do with weight? Nothing, unless we think, say, and believe so. These kinds of self-imposed parameters are the result of a limited belief in our own supernatural abilities. Thoughts become things, and they ignore the true magic that belies every new manifestation. This leads us to think we have to logically and physically figure out exactly how to bring our dreams to pass, which in effect actually creates restrictions and limitations that need not exist. We'll tell ourselves that once we get older, we'll slow down a bit and smell the roses, maybe travel some and enjoy life. But why put off your dreams another moment? I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and it always amazes me when I return home to hear from so many of my friends that they dream of doing such traveling as well. I'm surprised, not because they have this dream, but because they aren't acting on it, as I know full well that they have both the financial resources and the available time to do exactly what they claim to be dreaming of doing. Why don't they give it to themselves? It's because they don't believe the rest of their life is in check. It's because they have linked some of their dreams together, or they've dreamed up some other limitation. It's as if the sunglasses they're wearing won't allow them to see how livable their dreams are right now. Whatever it is that you now want, give what you can of it to yourself. And if you feel resistance, follow that wagging tail to the invisible dog it belongs to. Enjoying your life today by living your dreams to the degree you presently can. It's perhaps one of the most powerful things you can do toward expanding your belief system while disabling limiting, even invisible beliefs. I need water. I need juice. I need something. Advanced visualization tips to bypass limiting beliefs. Here are two things you can do to help ensure that a fundamental limiting belief isn't holding you back, even when you don't know what it is. Number one, when visualizing, always focus on the end result of whatever it is you want. Don't let other unrelated images enter your mind about the hows, whys, and wheres of its attainment. These details should be left entirely out of the picture. Surrender the vision alone and give your deductive brain a vacation. Remember, air bubbles always know the fastest way to the surface, and your thoughts, when unfettered from your ideas of how, always know the fastest way to become the things and events in your life. Number two, excuse me. Number two, don't link your dreams together. Visualize one at a time. If you want abundance, visualize abundance. If you want a bestseller, visualize a bestseller. By focusing on the end result and not making one dream contingent on another, you're freeing the manifestation process from limitation, allowing the invisible force of imagination to find the absolute shortest distance between your dream and its physical expression. In the areas of your life where you want to make changes that don't involve the direct give and take of specific things, people, time, or places, there exists fantastic freedom for creativity and abundance because you're immediately freeing yourself from all your other beliefs that would have otherwise been invoked. If you want love, happiness, health, or wealth, create it first in your mind. Imagine as vividly as you possibly can your life as if you already received whatever you want. Visualize sights, sounds, sensations, and most importantly, the emotions you expect to feel. Here's the fun end result to imagine: the stunned and happy reactions of others, or imagine helping people who want to achieve as you have. It's not important that you first imagine why others are reacting happily or exactly what kind of help you will be giving. By not insisting on those details, you let the universe figure them out for you in the fastest, most harmonious way possible. Infinite possibilities. I often hear people say that beliefs are hard to deal with because they're so loaded with mystery and because they're presumably buried deep inside the psyche. Of course, these are simply beliefs themselves, but even if they are possibly your own, don't let them stop you from doing what you can. Don't think you have to first pinpoint or unwind all your beliefs because you can beliefs before you can begin making any progress. Working with your beliefs need to be an all or nothing endeavor. No, working with your beliefs need not to be an all or nothing endeavor. Every journey begins with the first step, and working with your beliefs follows the same principle. Do what you can. Do what you're comfortable with and follow your feelings and impulses. And as you progress, you'll elevate yourself to higher and higher levels of understanding, giving yourself ever new vistas of awareness. You'll begin to see things that were not visible before you started, and you'll be empowered by your progress and momentum. Momentum.